All right, so I'm going to talk to my problem real quick, or what I encountered is I've been doing these, multi-day, 2, 3 day camping trips, and the whole goal was to run a fridge off the Rivian. Yeah, there's going to be obviously the power draw that it takes off the truck, but I wasn't really too sure how efficient it was in the sense of the inverter and what other systems on the truck were on. First trip, it was, 48, 54, or something like that hours of camping. With temperatures were great. I explained it later in the video, so I'll try not to repeat myself too much here. Long story short, it ended up killing like almost 50 to 60 miles of my range to power just a small fridge for just one person at a time for that camping trip. I was way off grid, and my math going in, I was like, okay, I'll be able to get back to the RAN charger, with minimal hesitation. And sure enough, as I was watching the battery just drain and drain and drain over the weekends, I was getting quite concerned as I, watched it plummet. Luckily, I did make it back in time with just, luckily it was safe because it was all downhill and I was able to get more range back than I thought. But either way, that's not cool that I'm eating up 50, 60 miles of range just to cool the fridge keep the fridge cold. So I went and got this puppy. So of course there's a ton of solar generators, battery banks, whatever you want to call them. This is the EcoFlow River 2 Max. You can tell by these are all the grounded plugs here. This is the 768 watt hour one. It's the specs for size on this thing and price is pretty hard to beat, which is why I went with this. So I'll link it below. It's phenomenal. I've already beaten this thing up for a bunch of trips and had absolutely no issues. It's an LFP pack, so it's going to last 10 years, something like that. At the rate I use it, it's not like I'm using it every day. Probably longer. Well, definitely longer. Charges, it's got a crazy C rate, so it actually charges really fast, 900 and something, if I can remember right. So more than actually has capacity in terms of the watt hours. I have it tuned down a little bit. Long story short, this thing's a beast. It powers 1800 watt, anything I want. So it's charging or powering induction cooktops, as well as my fridge and my diesel heater. Not all at the same time, of course, but definitely the diesel heater in the fridge, no problem. So got this, it solves all my problems. Go ahead and watch the rest of this video because I do a test in terms of the Rivian in my garage in terms of how much power it draws. Just parked in the garage as I would be camping with no load on the inverter. I also did get this solar panel, which I've used a couple times already. This is a Big Blue 150. I'll link it below as well. It's actually, I think, really well sized for this battery bank. It'll top me off by like noon each day when I run this thing down to 20-30% at night if I do all the cooking and diesel heater and all that jazz. So quite happy with it. And this is the ETFE coating, so it should be really long lasting. And it folds up real nice. Got just 2 kickstands. It's not any of the bigger ones that are like multi-panels and get all wobbly. Really, really, really happy with this panel. So again, I'll link those below and check out the test coming up.
Ignore the dust and the dirt. Just got back from a big camping trip off-road. All right, so gonna try to test out my theory here. Well, not really theory, but I'm just gonna kind of get some numbers here so we can prove it a bit more. 60% SOC right there. I'm gonna put it into camp mode. 61 in the garage right now. It'll be, I don't know, maybe 55 is the low tonight in here, maybe a bit lower. Honestly, not too different than what it was when I was camping, when this first happened. Granted, I'm not going to run the fridge, so I'm really just going to see what's the power draw of leaving the outlets on overnight. So we'll do 12 hours, and we'll come in here at, hopefully 12 hours from now. I got a kid, so we'll see what happens in the morning. But I'm also going to do full camp courtesy, like I would be if I was camping. So let's take a look and see what it goes tomorrow. I'll just do turns displays off. Why not? So outlets are on, 12 hours, 60%. God, that's dirty. That doesn't look like that to the eye, but camera picks it all up. All right, we'll see what it is in the morning.
The next morning.
All right. and the brake pedal. And so it's just been under, where's the clock? It's like 10 minutes or something like that until it's been 12 hours. So you can still see the outlets are on. And look what we're down to, 55%. So in 12 hours, it's used basically 5% of its range. And over a couple day camping trip, 20%. That's like, you know, we'll call it over 60 miles of EPA rating. Just from running the inverter, there, again, there's no load on it over the course of 48 hours. And so what happened to me, I was camping and just using it to run a small little fridge at cold temperatures outside. It wasn't like it was baking in the sun. And it, you know, my math then took up like 50 to, I can't remember how, it was a lot of mileage. And I was like, all right, this is just kind of ridiculous. So I opted to get a EcoFlow River Pro Max power bank. Solved all my problems. Basically what I can do now is I can run that inverter 24/7, and it's, I don't know, about a day and a half of use to run the fridge, but at the same time I can run my diesel heater all night long, and I can boil water and run my induction cooktop on top of it. All no problem. I've got solar panels that I'll link below as well that I use. And if, you know, worst comes to worst, and if I do need to top off from the truck, I'm only running the inverter for 30, 40 minutes or something like that to, you know, throw 75% more battery into the power bank, which takes up like 1 mile, not percentage, like 1 mile of range from here. So way better, just because the inefficiencies of running the inverter for this long, because I think there's actually other systems in the truck that are staying on during that time, which you can completely avoid if you just let the truck go full stay off mode and you know, use the inverter and the battery bank. So save yourself over 10 grand and get yourself a power bank, and don't go for that max pack, because there's other ways to save it. Yeah, I know there's some few folks out there that are towing crazy distances where, you know, that first leg, maybe the max pack helps, but I don't know. This is a much better solution for me. Thanks. Let me know your thoughts below.